All right, guys, as promised, I finished American Horror Story Apocalypse, and now I've got a review for you. This probably goes without saying, but just in case, this is a full season reaction, so if you're not caught up on Apocalypse, do not watch this video, or at least just not right now. Before I jump into my new thoughts, though, a brief recap on where I had left off with you guys, which was recapping episodes 1 through 3. There were parts of those episodes that I did like. I was, let's say, curious to see where things were going with Miss Mead and Michael Langdon. I thought the production design was incredible, but the episodes didn't really do it for me, and that sentiment still stands. Episodes 1 through 3 were fine. I just didn't love them. I did love a lot of the rest of the season, though, beginning with when we get the witches from American Horror Story Coven. When I rank my American Horror Story seasons, Coven ranks pretty high for me, mainly because I fell in love with those characters. It was a group that I just really enjoyed spending time with and cared deeply about, and that really came in handy in Apocalypse. After spending 3 episodes with a whole bunch of people who were, I guess, pretty despicable, all of a sudden, we're back with Cordelia, Myrtle, Zoe, Queenie, and Madison, and I was just instantly rooting for them all over again. Even when things did get a little silly and maybe melodramatic, like the stuff with Misty, I still felt that connection, the warmth, and I just simply enjoyed watching everything play out with them, and that actually wound up having a pretty positive effect on some of the other new characters that we got this season, and namely the ones at the Hawthorne School for Exceptional Young Men. I thought that they had pretty strong personalities. There was an intriguing combination of deplorable but also admirable intentions, and I thought the season wound up pairing them with the witches from Coven very well. I also can't say enough about Cody Fern. Even at the very beginning of the season, when maybe I wasn't really feeling the whole thing, I couldn't deny the fact that he is an exceptional actor, and that becomes more and more prominent as the season goes along, especially with how seamlessly he navigates the Michael Langdon age range here. He is so convincing as a teenager, and the same goes for when he's playing Michael in pure evil, all-powerful mode, and I also really appreciated the time this season put into his transformation, particularly the conflict he feels, whether it's first coming to understand the drive to do terrible things or dealing with the lack of guidance from his father, I guess. He really just did have a lot of depth and dimension to him. That being said, there were a few characters that severely missed the mark for me, and I think the worst of the worst might have been Evan Peters and Billy Eichner as Jeff and Mutt. I guess the story did kind of need them to explain certain things, but they were pretty grating, and they never really did anything all that interesting. We met them, I made my first impression of them, and that's pretty much who they turned out to be. I also think almost all of the characters introduced in those first 3 episodes, the brand new ones, turned out to kind of be duds. Not Mallory or Coco, though. In fact, I really did like how things panned out with them, and the emotional impact of the moment when they assume their new identities, I thought that was really powerful. I'm referring here pretty much specifically to Timothy and Emily. Yeah, it was kind of neat to see how things panned out for them without the apocalypse, but this is exactly what I feared at the beginning of the season. They are just so wooden and vanilla that I never really cared much for them, and that wound up hurting this, what could have been a really cool reveal at the very end. The return of Miss Venable also didn't really do much for me either. I did appreciate the explanation of why she ran wild designing the rules of the bunker the exact way she wanted to, but similar to the Timothy and Emily thing, it really just amounted to a quick, oh neat, but it didn't really mean that much. But speaking of Sarah Paulson, what did mean a lot to me was the episode that she directed, the one that's called Return to Murder House. This was my favorite episode of the season by far. Yes, everything that happens in it is vital to the chain of events and Apocalypse overall, but it was so nice to get something that felt like a contained, cohesive narrative in a single location, especially a location as rich as Murder House. But what gave this episode just this extra special touch was how much American Horror Story magic Paulson managed to capture there. Not only did we get a whole bunch of familiar faces like Tate, Violet, Vivian, Ben, Constance, but It was almost like the style and the feel of the episode was just one giant celebration of the series. One moment after the next gave me chills and just kept filling my American Horror Story loving heart time and time again. So that's it, guys. My overall thoughts on American Horror Story Season 8 Apocalypse. A mixed review there, no doubt, but the good here is so good that I'm walking away pretty happy and satisfied. I do think that this season has more to offer the longtime American Horror Story fan than newcomers, or at least those who aren't familiar with these specific returning characters, but hey, that's not me, so I really did wind up enjoying it. Thank you guys so much for watching this review and for demanding that I give it to you. But right now I've got to give an extra special shout out to 4 Patreon supporters: Ian, Luke, Billy, and Pablo. Pablo and Luke are new to the team and I'm so thrilled to have them here. Ian's back for his 2nd month and gives me a very nice challenge with those movie recommendations. And then, of course, Billy is a PNemi Patreon veteran, someone I've really enjoyed getting to know for a while now. Thank you guys so much for being here, and another thank you to everyone else watching this review. I will see you soon with more movie and TV coverage.